Vice President Sara Duterte transfers the office of the Vice President to Mandaluyong City. The country's Muslim community celebrated Adha. And basketball action continues in the PBA Philippine Cup. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. The office of the Vice President will be relocating to Mandaluyong, according to Vice President Sara Duterte's spokesperson, Attorney Ray Munsayak. The OVP currently holds office at the Quezon City Reception House. This is the same office used by former Vice President Leni Robredo during her term. In a statement, Munsayak said that moving to Mandaluyong will allow them to accommodate all OVP employees. He added that the new location is more accessible to the public. President Bongbong Marcos also has his headquarters in Mandaluyong. Muslim Filipinos marked this year's celebration of Adha with traditional music and dancing. Brian Castillo has the report.
Hundreds of Filipino Muslims flocked to Camp Karingal in Quezon City to join the Adha festivities on Saturday. A colorful display of Moro traditional clothing, instruments, and decorations even made the celebration brighter. Headlining the gathering is the Udhiya, or the sacred ritual of animal sacrifice. Ito yung bakang nagsilbing sacrifice o alay ngayong Adha. Halaw ito sa kwento sa Quran kung saan dapat sana'y iaalay ni Abraham ang kanyang anak na si Isaac. Ngunit pinigilan siya ni Allah at sa halip ay ipinag-utos ang pagpatay sa isang hayop. Sadaka, or voluntary act of charity, during a feast was also shown by giving grocery items to least fortunate families. Livestocks were also given as gifts to representatives of some of the largest mosques in Metro Manila. Muslim Senator Robin Padilla was invited as the event's guest of honor. In his speech, he emphasized the importance of teaching Filipino culture and history to the youth.
Yung pong pag-aaral ng kasaysayan ng history nating mga Pilipino, yan po ang magsisilbing ugat ng ating mga kababayan. Yan po ang magbibigay ng karakter sa ating mga kabataan.
He also called for the full implementation of the Marawi Siege Compensation Act.
Inaantay na po ito ng mga kapatid ninyong mga Maranao. Buuin na po nila yung board na magdidesisyon doon sa Marawi compensation at malagyan na rin po ng budget.
President Bongbong Marcos, for his part, said the occasion is a reminder of deep faith and loyalty. He has also expressed hope that Filipinos will break the chains of divisiveness and join hands to achieve a better Philippines. Meanwhile, BARMM Chief Minister Ahod Ibrahim attended a congregational prayer in Cotabato. In a speech, he highlighted the importance of sacrificing personal interests for the greater good.
Kung hindi tayo magsakripisyo, palaging ang naiisip natin ay ang ating kabutihan, ay wala tayong makikitang magandang servisyo dahil inuuna natin yung ating interes kaysa yung interes ng ating mga kababayan.
July 9 was declared a regular holiday in observance of Adha. For News 5, Brian Castillo, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Finance chief and former BSP Governor Ben Diokno said they will not let the Philippine peso determine its level as long as it does not threaten inflation targets. More details in this Bloomberg report.
Your thoughts on the Philippine peso 17-year low at a time when oil prices are surging?
Well, good morning, Haslinda, and good morning, Rich. We economists don't talk of weak or strong peso. We talk of competitive currency. And so, as shown by David, the peso has depreciated together with other currencies, and in fact, we have depreciated much less than the other currencies. The weaker peso, or what we call depreciated peso, would mean, of course, higher oil bills, for example, and that because we are an oil importing country, but it also helps our exporters, make exports more competitive, helps our overseas Filipino workers. On the other hand, it imposes penalties on those consumers who prefer imported goods, like what I call the Ferragamo crowd, right? And so it makes more expensive for them, and also for the travelers, Filipino travelers abroad. So there are winners and losers in any currency behavior. But as a matter of policy, we let the peso determine its own level. That is our first best defense. Meaning, if there's a strong demand for the peso, then we expect the currency to depreciate. If there's a strong supply of peso, which happens maybe in the fourth quarter, there is a move for appreciation. So we let the currency the market determine the level, and we only engage in some transactions to smoothen the volatility, and to make sure that it doesn't threaten our inflation targeting objective.
Secretary Diokno, part of the reason for the peso weakness is also divergence in monetary policy. Can the Philippines remain divergent from the Fed?
As a matter of policy, we don't have to keep pace with the Fed. Their problems are much difficult than our problems. They have a higher inflation, and they're starting from a very low interest rate. Now, to me, what matters is the real interest rate. In other words, interest rate corrected for inflation. And you can see that our problem is much less serious than their problems.
PBA action continues over at the Big Dome. Converge is in for a winning streak after fending off an undermanned Northport 104-98. RK Ilagan led the young team with 20 points, including 2 clutch hits at the end game. Now the Batang pair will now have to win their last 3 games to secure a chance at the playoffs. Meanwhile, Rain or Shine kept its playoff hopes alive with a win over NLEX 96-86. The Elastopainters ended the 6-game slide with 6 players scoring double digits. Now the Philippine Cup continues today with San Miguel versus Blackwater at 4:30 p.m. and Ginebra facing off TNT later at 6:30. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.